How do you professionally tell a coworker to F off? Was in a conference call while someone was presenting a new document we had to utilize. Someone raised hell about it on the call, and the response from the presenter was, "I'm not looking for feedback or taking questions at this time." It shut the naysayer up, and I now use this anytime I don't want to deal with someone. Thank you, but I have this covered but out. As per my last email, learn to read. I'll reiterate, learn to listen. Let's circle back on that later, I don't give a s. I appreciate your position, I'm doing it anyways. Let's stay focused on the key issue here, shut up. I can't visualize the benefit, you don't know what you're talking about. We have to prioritize more effectively, you're doing it wrong. This is an urgent ask, move your. Thank you for attending my TED Talk. If you don't mind, I have a lot to get done. This one might actually be the least offensive yet still effective way of doing this. I've been told this and told it to others with no offense taken by any party. We've all been there and know what it feels like to need to get something huge or important done and out of the way before we can focus on something else. F off. Granted, I work in construction, so your mileage may vary. This is something I very much appreciate about working with tradesmen. No time for BS, and definitely no time for BS words. Exactly. I worked in steel mills for 25 years, and no one had a single issue with telling someone else to pee off. If one gets their feelings hurt easily, it's not a career to be in. We work in 120° F, 150° F temps, at 95% humidity, 12 hours a day, 48 to 80 hours a week. It's hard, it's hot, it's dangerous as frick, and it causes tempers to flare often, especially in the summer months. We don't have the time or inclination to play nice with morons, especially if they can't do their job, which creates more work for everyone else. I retired in February, over $100 in case/year for less than 6 months worth of work a year, most of the time. Roughly half our pay was weekly production incentive on top of regular pay. So we had to work like a well-oiled machine to get those $40 and /HR incentive bonuses on top of the $30 and /HR pay. People freaking off freaked all of us, so it's very rarely tolerated without someone saying something. Almost always in a very direct manner, without worrying about them getting offended by it. We weren't there to make friends, only to make money. I prefer the regal approach. Your presence is no longer required, while waving them off with a hand gesture. I feel like you're missing frantic bzzz sounds as you wave your hand and twirl around a leopard print microphone cane. I'll need to touch base with you later on this, as I have a deadline I need to meet on a project I'm working on. If you need immediate assistance, try contacting X. Look them straight in the eyes and say F off. I did almost exactly this. I was talking my team about their hours and rotas, and someone from another team who worked totally different schedules piped up. "Oh, so it's one rule for you and different for us." My reply in a loud voice for all to hear as I pointed at him, "This is none of your freaking business." Silence. It depends. But generally I write something like, "Thank you for your perspective. At this time, I think I will move forward with the project and reach out if I need any further assistance from you." Writes, frick off, in email clicks Copilot. Please reword this in a professional tone, reiterating. Looks good, send. In all seriousness, professionally, don't. Not everything requires a response. Some things require a canned, "Thank you. I hope this helped" response. Whatever you choose on doing, probably best to take a good 20 minutes walk or something beforehand though. I had an older colleague once. When someone asked a question, he almost always answered with, "Okay, I think I explained it poorly." And he went through the whole subject again. After careful consideration of how your work product aligns with the strategic objectives I've been assigned, I encourage you to redirect your energies toward initiatives where your unique abilities might be a more suitable fit. Having done exactly this, I just very loudly told them to frick off. I then dealt with HR and received a verbal warning. totally worth it. Unfortunately, your request conflicts with my team's quarterly goals. Please discuss project prioritization with my director / my manager / the founder / whoever. It's your manager's job to assign tasks and to make sure their employees are doing the job effectively. If this coworker is impeding your ability to work, dragging you down, bossing you around, etc., most likely talking to a manager is part of the solution. You are now dismissed, thank you. If they are in front of you and won't leave, this is not a discussion I'm going to entertain, is a good email version. Currently I need to be doing X, and I see no reason you need to be bothering me right now. Professional doesn't mean sugar-coated. There's nothing wrong with telling them directly that you don't want them around, and is important to make sure they actually get the message. None of your business. Or just pretend you're deaf and ignore. I think after a few times they will get the message. It's actually not telling somebody to frick off, but if I tell somebody to have a good weekend or a good week, in my mind I'm telling them to frick off. It's petty, but it sometimes makes me feel better. Nobody knows but me that that's what it means. I've only worked where you could actually tell someone to frick off, and nothing would happen to you for saying that. And if they complained, they were told to grow a pair. Frick off with a wink and a smile, maybe. Some ideas. I believe it would be best if we discontinued this conversation. I'm not in a position to engage in this discussion right now. I'd prefer if we could revisit this at another time. I'm going to have to end this conversation here. I'm not comfortable continuing this conversation. Is this a new policy / procedure? If so, please let me know where it has been changed, and be sure our whole team is updated. While CCing our bosses. This has been effective in shutting down a particular incompetent buffoon who keeps dragging our respective supervisors into email threads. Of course, once I call her on it, she silently crawls away and pretends she never said anything. I prefer the Midwest technique of slapping my knees as I stand up and saying, "Welp, it's about that time," as I walk them toward the door. Just grin at them without speaking or blinking. All day, every day until it gets uncomfortable, but don't do it around anyone else. That way they get creeped out and stop lol. If they're trying to tell me to do / not do something or do it different, and they have no authority to do so, I simply state, I am going to do the thing. Let's say they insist my report must be single-spaced when I want it double-spaced. I just say, I prefer double-spaced and walk away. They can't really do anything if they don't have authority over me. Thank you for bringing this to my attention. I do feel it's in everyone's best interest to continue this conversation in a group setting with leadership present, so we can all be on the same page. CC your boss on the email. I will gladly accept a meeting invite once a time that works for everyone has been reached. This gives you time to prepare all of your ammunition / proof, so it's not just a he said, she said cesspool. On another note, when I have a customer on the phone that I want to tell them to how, when, where they can go F themselves and how many times while their mom watches, I usually end the call with, "Have a magically wonderful day." That's like the Disney version of F off. My calls are recorded, but I did not say anything rude technically. I need to get this done. And if they still don't get it, "You're keeping me from getting this done, go away." I'm just about to try. You didn't read the comment on that ticket. How to say F around and find out professionally. Please test that assumption and take note of the results. When a specific coworker comes to my office for help, I always say, "Have you exhausted all your other options before coming to me?" Usually makes them go somewhere else. I try to do this on a regular basis. Always goes the same way. Right, I'd better let you get on. Anyway, yeah, I've got loads on. Sorry, but I'm flat out. Can we catch up later? Turn away, no eye contact. Single word answers. Yeah. 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 Frantic typing. Yeah. Yeah. Makes no difference at all. I think I'm gonna need to find a new job before I snap. White collar email passive aggressiveness. As per my last email, CC bosses. There's a subtle but dramatic difference between thanks and thanks. What do you think is the best way to tell someone to F off? Feel free to share in the comments below. Please consider liking and subscribing for more daily content.